Hello SolidWorks power users, this is Alin Vargato from Trimax Solutions, trying to contribute to a very interesting conversation that's going on the SolidWorks forum about the possibility of creating a Mobius strip in SolidWorks. And I'm talking about the zero thickness Mobius strip. For those of you who are not familiar with what a Mobius strip is, imagine taking a piece of paper and twist it half turn and simply glue the edges together. If this would be zero thickness, imagine starting from this line and hopefully you have magnetic boots or something and start working on it. When you finish a complete turn, you're going to find yourself in exactly the same spot but upside down. So the question is, can we do this in SolidWorks as one face or can't? And if not, why? So let's move on to SolidWorks. Right, you can see here zero thickness Mobius strip. It's one surface body, but there are two faces here, and one edge is knitted. So these two faces are knitted along this edge, but the other one, notice, is blue and is not. So let's see what is possible and what's not possible inside SolidWorks. I have here just a circle, and let's start by trying to build this as a solid body. Since this is SolidWorks 2023, I can press the Q button to show the planes. Let's find the plane that is normal to the sketch where I draw the circle. I drew the circle, create a sketch there, and maybe draw a center rectangle. Let's get this point to be wherever the circle pierces the sketch plane. Add a dimension. Let's make it, I don't know, 1/4 inch. Another dimension here, let's say 5 inch. And that's enough for creating a swept feature. So this is going to be a solid feature. This rectangle is going to go around a circle. The question is, can I twist it? So if I specify a twist value of half a revolution, notice it tells me I cannot do it. Okay, so it looks like I cannot do it in one go. Let's try to do it in 2 sweeps. So for that, I'm gonna go back to the original sketch and let's split it. Okay, so I'm gonna run the trim command. This time I'm gonna use the option to keep the trim entity as construction geometry. I still want to keep the other half. So now if I'm doing my sweep, I'm gonna go on only this in this direction. Let's create another sketch before we build the profile on the same plane. So I'm going to press Q button, top plane, create a sketch. And this time I'm simply going to convert this other edge or this other half of the circle. So really I'm having one half here, one half there. And this is my sketch profile. So again, sweep. This is the profile. The first sweep is going to be along this path. And let's specify the twisting. Let's go with revolutions and go 1/4 of a revolution in this case. All right, so I'm going to start from here to there. And let's repeat the sweep. This time I'm going to have again 1/4 of a revolution. Okay, and just make sure that I'm going in the right direction. Oh, not degrees, but revolutions. 1/4 of a revolution, 0.25. Let's see the result. So looks like I need to change the direction. There you go. I'm gonna ask SolidWorks to merge the result, and you can see in this case creating a solid sweep, it worked fine. Oh, well, kind of fine, because I have multiple faces. This is one face. This kind of goes around over here, face number 2. This one goes here, face number 3, and this one goes there, face number 4. So yes, I can start from the same place and come back to the same place, but once I do a full turn, I'm actually not at the same level. I am separated by this thickness. So what about doing this as a surface body? Well, let's start with sweeps. first of all, before we start knitting and doing other things. Let's try by, I'm gonna press Ctrl T to flatten the feature manager. And let's go before even the sweeps were created. These are the sketches. Should we try first to use a complete circle, right? So maybe on the top plane, even before I do anything else, on the top plane, I'm gonna create again a full circle. Let's say 10. On the front plane, I'm gonna create a line only this time. Let's make it vertical. And I'm gonna pick up its midpoint and I'm gonna attach it to this, right? Pierce location, maybe add here a dimension of 5. Okay, so this is the first test. Can I do a surface where this is gonna be the profile, this is gonna be the path, and I'm attempting to run a twist value of 0.5. And it tells me I can't, right? Even if I type degrees here, so 180 degree, same result, okay? Now, let's test to see what happens if this circle is not full. It's just an arc. So let's go and edit the sketch. I don't know, let's split it. Maybe first of all, we're gonna go horizontal, and then a little bit of an angle, and we can adjust this angle later on. So let's start with a bigger angle so we can see, let's say 10 degrees. And we're gonna trim away this area. Okay. So now if I try to run my sweep, oh, and looks like I didn't trim where I was supposed to be, where I was supposed to do it. Easy fix, I'm gonna change the sketch plane from the right plane to the front plane for this one. So there you go. I'm starting with the profile where I'm supposed to be. Swept surface, 1, 2, and let's do a twist of half a turn, even though we're not completing here, but just to get an idea about what's going to happen. So 0.5 of a revolution. All right, so you can see if this angle would be really, really small, close to 0, this will almost match. Right? So if I'm going back to this and change this angle from 10 degrees to something super, super small, let's try 1,000 of a degree. Looks like it doesn't like 1,000. Let's try 100 of a degree. Looks like tolerances are important when you deal with Parasolid software. And it's one face, but obviously here we have two edges that are not matching. Wondering why is that not possible? A quick thing we can do, we can run the face curves here. Let's create face curves, only the blue one, I don't care about the pink one. So this is kind of the threads inside the fabric that are defining this face. And notice when I select one of them, it starts from here and it finishes there, and they're not really matching. So that kind of tells you why you cannot do it. As my friend Eric Beatty says, also is the direction of the normal. The normal changes and a face cannot really have the normal contradicting itself. So it looks like I cannot really join them this way. But can I join them if I have two separate faces? That would be a good question. So let me undo a little bit. Right, undo a few more steps. So we got to this point. This time maybe we will use the original sketches instead of using these ones. So allow me to suppress this tree and go back to the two half circles. I'm gonna draw my sketch on the front plane like we did before, 5-inch long. Let's pick up the middle of it and attach it to this one for the time being. Let's run my swept surface. This is gonna be my profile. This is gonna be my path with a twist. So far so good. Let's use revolutions 0.25, right? Quarter turn. Take the same sketch and run one more time the swept surface. This time we're gonna use this as the path. Hopefully I can select the correct one. Let's pick it from here. Yeah, this one. Twist of quarter revolution. Let's take a look at the preview. Looks not that good. We're gonna change the direction. So now we have two surface bodies. So far so good, right? We have two surface bodies. I can even hide this. You can see the blue edges, which tell you that they are open edges. You can see there are two separate ones. If I try to knit them, SolidWorks doesn't complain, it actually does the knitting. But notice how this is actually open. So you see a blue edge there, is not a black. So this is an open edge. If you go to the check tool in SolidWorks, it tells you have an open surface and the open edges are all highlighted. Good, so this doesn't work. Let's suppress this. And you can try to bridge this gap any ways you can think of. Even, so for example here, let's try this one. You try to bridge this gap with a loft. Like let's go from this edge to this edge. And then try to knit this and this. The result is still an open edge. So it doesn't matter what you're doing, you will not be able to create a one surface body that is having the normal changing. Okay, let's try one more thing. So I'm going to suppress this one more time. And let's come back to our solid, right? We created this solid. What about knitting surfaces? Can I get, yeah, because they are not really matching here. There is no way you can get it to happen. But you know what? Let's try to knit this together. So I'm knitting these two faces, okay? And now I'm hiding the solid body. And I'm going to try to bridge the gap with something. A planar surface maybe, since we already have this sketch, or a loft. So if I try to knit this, would this work? Let's see. Because now for sure the line, face curves are not matching. No, look at that. This is still blue. So no matter what, looks like in SolidWorks I cannot really do this zero thickness Mobius strip. If you find a solution, please let me know. Thank you.